Hi everyone, hi people, it's Helen here from Feet to Earth Yoga. I hope you're well. Welcome to my new series of videos, which hopefully will be really helpful for you, especially if you suffer from lower back issues and tight hamstrings. These two issues normally do go together. It's super common and they are very dear to my heart. This is in fact what brought me to my yoga practice, was a lower back injury and very tight hamstrings. The problem with the combination of these issues is that some yoga poses can in fact do you more harm than good. And when you're first starting out in a yoga practice, it's really good to know which poses to avoid or modify to make them work better for you, so that you're not causing yourself more injury and you're not causing yourself more pain. And these are a couple of the hints and tips that I wish that someone had given to me when I first started my practice. So stay tuned, I'll be going through different poses, how to modify them to help you add to your flexibility, help you with your back issues and help you enjoy your practice. Okay, hi lovelies. Before we begin, it goes without saying really that if you have any kind of lower back or any back injury of any kind, please make sure that you get signed off by your healthcare professional before you begin any kind of yoga practice or exercise practice, because believe you me, it's so easy to do yourself more harm than good if you're not careful. So if you've been given the go ahead, great, we can begin our practice. So we're going to start off looking at Trikonasana, or triangle pose. Trikonasana is normally guided or taught by teachers from the position of warrior two. So I'm going to come into a warrior two. Left foot parallel with the end of the mat, right foot facing forwards. You want to make sure you have plenty of space between the feet. We bring a nice deep bend into that front leg, pushing into your left foot. And in warrior two, our arms float out to the sides. We also want to make sure we've got heel arch alignment, so the right heel in line with the left arch. Chest is lifted, arms floating out to the side. So this is our warrior two. Now a lot of teachers will guide you into Trikonasana from this pose by asking you to straighten that front leg, to feel the hips to move to the left, and to begin to reach forward with the right hand, bending to the side with the top half of the body. When you reach your limit, they'll ask you to release the hand down, rest it perhaps on your shin, and lift the left hand all the way up towards the ceiling. Pressing into both feet, perhaps pulling that top arm back a little bit. And this is your triangle pose. Now it's easy to see in this position, especially if you've experienced back pain, how this may not work for you. And as well, if you've got really tight hamstrings, this pose can be super tricky. So a way I like to teach it to make it more accessible, and also coming out of the pose can be quite difficult as well. So I'll show you here the version that I like to teach when people have back injuries, and it's a lot safer and it's a lot more accessible if you're very tight in your hamstrings. So we'll start off in the same warrior two position, nice strong warrior two. Again, we'll straighten that front leg nice and slowly, really pressing down into both feet. Now I really want to make sure that we've got those hips over to the left. So if you can see, the top half of my body is now slowly moving over to the right, not because I'm bending through the spine, but because my right hip is lower than my left hip, and that's really what we want to aim for. A lot of times people don't really get this hip connection, the pelvic tilt of the triangle pose, and that's what causes their spine to then bend over to the side and can actually put a lot of pressure on the discs there and cause more harm than good. So really good to tilt that pelvis. So imagine your right hip coming down and your left hip coming up, and look at the top half of my body. Already it wants to naturally, the spine wants to naturally be off to the side. So you're already really set up in this Trikonasana position. Now from here, nice and simple, begin to guide your right hand down, back of the hand rests on the inside of that right leg, and then inhaling, lifting that left arm all the way up, and just sliding that hand down only as far as you can keep the integrity of that spine. So if you can see here, my spine is nice and long. I'm not bending down here. My spine is nice and long. I'm protecting that base of my spine from twisting or bending too far over to the right. I can lift my head up towards the left hand and pause here. Nice big stretch through both hamstrings here. Nice big stretch in the legs. You're strengthening the legs, and your core will have to help you quite a lot here because this hand is just resting, gently resting against the inside of your right leg. Now, really key point here to exit the pose. We don't want to just go like that. You're going to hurt yourself. You'll be lucky if you don't. So we're in this position. To exit the pose, you want to turn down, look towards the right foot. Begin to bend deeply into that right knee. Bend, 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 bend. This way we get the pelvis in a nice neutral position, and we can naturally float the body back to a warrior two, making sure that the spine is nice and long. Again, we don't have any side twisting or bending, which is going to cause us more harm than good. Okay, so that's Trikonasana tutorial done with. We'll be moving on to other poses, and I'll be showing you top tips to help you avoid injuring yourself even further and making these poses way more accessible. Thank you so much, and see you again next time.